I believe that bad things happen in life to teach us how to look at the good things in a whole new light. All right, guys, welcome back to Sis N Giggles. I'm your co-host Keisha, and
I'm Karen.
And today we are going to be talking about the other Baton Rouge serial killer. So we did talk about Derek Todd Lee. I did not mention if he's dead, but this week we are going to be talking about Sean Vincent Gillis. So
what you got for us? Y'all know, wait, actually, before we jump into it, I will tell the people what we're eating today. Keisha's been sneaking bites, y'all.
I have.
But it is smashed. What was I calling
cheddar,
it? I know.
Rosemary.
White cheddar, rosemary, smashed potatoes. That's what we're eating.
Yes.
Whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop.
They are tasty.
They're really good. It's like, but it's like a guilty pleasure because you don't realize that you're eating like a medium-sized potato, and then you're eating like 3 and 4. Be like, it's a lot of starch.
But
it's good.
Yeah.
All right. So the other Baton Rouge serial killer. So we talked about Derek Todd Lee, and Sean Vincent Gillis and Derek Todd Lee actually were happening around the same time. So the 1990s and the early 2000s.
I thought you were about to say they knew each other.
They did not know each other, but Sean Vincent Gillis, when he was arrested, he did have a file on his computer with all of Derek Todd Lee's information, and he was quoted that
he studied him.
Not even studied him. He wanted to outdo him. So he felt like Derek Todd Lee would have more kills than he would. And he wanted his kills to be a little bit more vicious. So that's why, like, the last two, when we get to it, the last two of his killings were kind of like very random. So I do have some trigger warnings. Cannibalism, of course, murder, and necrophilia.
Is necrophilia when they want to have sex with dead people?
Yes.
All right, let's get into it.
So did you know that Louisiana has the 5th most serial killers in the United States?
No, I did not know.
They make them different out here.
Facts I did not need to know.
That's your stomping ground. So he was between 1994 and he was arrested in April of 2004. So he had like a 10-year span. And honestly, within that 10-year span, and I said we're going to get to this, but usually with most serial killers, they don't have kids or they don't really have a family. This whole time he was committing his murders, he had a longtime girlfriend that he lived with at the end of it. So very weird. So a little background about Gillis. He was born June 24th, 1962 in Baton Rouge. His mom was Yvonne and his dad was Norman. Norman did have some mental issues and he bailed out fast. So he was actually raised by his mom and his grandparents. So his mom was a single mom. She worked a lot. She actually worked at a TV station, a local TV station. I don't know necessarily what she did, but she did work at a TV station. And Sean had a lot of interaction with his grandparents. So his grandparents were very important to him in his childhood. He had a relative normal childhood. He didn't kill animals. He really wasn't a peeping Tom. He didn't start fires. Like, what is it? The McDonald's triad. If you pee in your bed, light fires, and cruelty to animals, it's like you're going to be a serial killer.
Wait, what?
That's the McDonald's
I never heard that
triad.
Either.
You're not. I'm going to get you into serial killers. Don't you worry.
Wait, but everybody peed in the bed.
To like an older age.
Oh,
like if you're like
age.
13, 14 peeing in a bed, and then if you like fires, and then if you like hurting animals, you're probably going to be a serial killer. Crazy. So he didn't have any of those, which is weird, right? He was an average student in high school. He smoked a little weed here and there, and he watched Star Trek. He was a Trekkie. He actually started getting into trouble with the law at the age of 17, which is like some minor infractions. So like a DWI, traffic violations and stuff like that. So he was really under the radar, like nothing serious with this guy. He got his first job after he graduated high school. And at that time, internet porn was a really big thing. And that was his niche. Internet porn, baby. He was here for it. He was whacking it and jacking it.
You were out in the box. This girl said whacking and jacking.
So he actually got hooked on internet porn.
He got hooked on it.
Yeah, which a lot of people in that time did. I did not start a timer. Oh, here we go.
What's your recorder say?
6 minutes, 7 minutes.
Oh, no, 2 more minutes.
Yeah. So he was addicted to porn, but his addiction was so bad, like he would nonstop watch porn. Like he wouldn't go to work. He didn't have any other interests. He wouldn't see people. He wouldn't go on dates. He would like lose jobs because he wanted to stay home and watch porn. Like a serious addiction.
Wow.
And it wasn't like it was regular porn. It was like gruesome dismemberment, killing, murder porn, which I didn't even think was a thing, right?
I was gonna say, where do you even find that?
I know on like porn websites they have like the different categories, but like I feel like this is some stuff that the FBI is gonna be like watching you if you pull up murder porn. Like
they should be.
That's like a snuff film, like, right? Like I feel like if you're watching that type of porn, it's kind of like a why are you interested in that? Like what gets you off for you to be looking at that?
Right.
Like you should be tracked.
And who is creating this?
Who is creating this? I mean, everybody, I don't want to kink shame.
They definitely need to be on the FBI watch list.
I'm not going to kink shame, to each his own, right? But it's a little
when you
weird
hurting
to me.
people.
Yeah. The only way for you to get off if you see people getting dismembered or like violently murdered or raped.
That's definitely giving serial killer.
It's giving something. Yeah. Sticky situation. So anyway, I did mention, like I said, he would lose jobs constantly, but his mom took care of him until he was in his 30s. Like she was your stereotypical single mom. This is my son. He's my everything. And she took care of him for everything. Like he would lose a job. He lived at home with his parent or lived at home with his mom. So it wasn't a big deal until she moved to Atlanta. She got a new job at a bigger TV station, and he was livid. Like he didn't want to leave. He was upset at his mom because how dare you, leave.
That's his environment. He's comfortable.
So she was like, hold up, little Woody. You can stay here. I'll pay the mortgage and I'll go do my job. So that's what happened. She left for Atlanta. He had the house to himself, and he was able to be the Sean he wanted to be. He blossomed into the person that we know today.
Okay.
All right. So this was in 1992. So in 1992, his mom left. He actually hated that his mom left him. And then it was noted that the day of the move out, or like within weeks of the move out, he would like get blacked out drunk and like go outside and howl at the moon and like howl and say how much he hated his mom, like scream at the top of his lung how much he hated his mom. And then the neighbors started to notice like something ain't right with that boy. Yeah, it's a little weird.
So he started hating his mom.
He hated his mom because she left.
But she left him in the house that he didn't want to leave, where he didn't even have to pay mortgage.
Yeah.
And he still hate her.
Yeah.
I cannot.
Yeah.
Something's off.
So in 1994, after his mom moved, he was about the age of 30. And then he had this little crisis coming to Jesus moment when he was outside howling at the moon and all that. The neighbors did complain of the constant traffic of people going in and out the house and the smell of weed coming from the house. Like it was just like this potent smell of weed coming from the house. And I always say I used to complain about nosy neighbors, but low key nosy neighbors get your figured out. Like they are observant of what's going on and what's not familiar, what's happening. So if something does happen, your nosy neighbor knows.
I think observant neighbor versus nosy.
Yeah.
Because nosy
there's a fine line.
Yeah, they be all up in your business. Like, ma'am.
Yeah, it's a fine
I'm
line.
just bringing in some groceries. I saw you had bags you were bringing in at 2:00.
Why are you up?
Right?
What's happening? What were you doing? I have a motion detector. And
Right.
Okay. All right. So
can I have my sneaky link in peace?
Be like, were you the same guy from last week? Okay. So 2 years later, in 1994, he met his longtime girlfriend, Terry. Terry actually was with him, like I said, for the entire time that he was committing his murders, and she had no knowledge of what was happening.
So question, was he committing his murders before or after his mom left?
After his mom left. So 2 years after his mom left. So in 1992 she left, and 1994 is when he started his murders.
Wow. Okay.
So, yeah. And then he committed his murders a month after meeting Terry.
Why was Terry the trigger?
I don't know. I don't think Terry was... You know what? So Terry might have been the trigger in the sense that all of his murders were for him to get off, and maybe he was feeling that type of way with Terry because he still had this porn addiction, but he told Terry that sex was disgusting and he didn't want to have sex with her. And she was like, all right, I guess. But in reality, because he watched like the murder porn and the dismemberment porn, his fantasies, Terry could not do. Like, she couldn't do his fantasies, and that's when he started killing.
She would die.
Yeah. So that's a good question, because Terry was actually the trigger because he wanted to have sex. Like, he was sexually aroused, but he couldn't do it with Terry. He had to find some surrogates. So
wow.
Yeah. So Terry they had a lot of common interests. They liked Star Trek. She was a good listener. She would go on to say that Sean was a really good person, but he was lazy. In her eyes, he was a really good person, but he was just lazy. She did not like that he drank all the time and he had no interest in sex. And that was, like I said, because of his porn addiction.
How long was she with this man?
10 years. Oh. 10 years is a long time not to have sex with somebody. Like,
I hope Terry got laid after that.
But you know what? Like, some people don't have sexual relationships with their partner because they're bringing something to the table. But he really wasn't working. Like, she got him a job at the convenience store that she worked at.
But still,
what is it that you're looking for in this man? Like, yeah,
that's what.
Like, why are you in a relationship? Just to say that you can talk to someone? I don't know. Everybody's need is different, but they didn't have sex.
Okay.
They did not have sex, and she said that he was lazy. And at one point, she actually thought he was cheating on her, but he was really stalking victims and killing them.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So I don't know.
So not a cheater, just a murderer.
Yeah. That's weird. I don't want to be. Everybody's different, but I couldn't be in a committed relationship with somebody and not have sex because I don't know.
For 10 years.
For 10 years.
Just because they think it's disgusting.
Yeah, and she respected him. I guess she just was a non-sexual person too. They have those.
They do.
So she was like, "Hey, you're not sexual. I'm not sexual. It is what it is."
Yeah.
I'm very sexual. Yeah. She did want to test him though, so she picked a fight with him and she smacked him, and he actually started to cry and said that boys aren't supposed to hit girls and girls aren't supposed to hit boys. And she was like, "Okay, well, he seems safe to me." Don't try that at home nowadays.
Why did she test him?
She wanted to see if he was as nice as she thought he was.
That's why she did it?
Yeah.
Wow, girl, you ain't even know. You could have been folded up in somebody's fridge talking about you gonna test this man.
Well, he started crying. I guess she was like, all right, I guess. Yeah. So within a month of meeting Terry, he had his first victim. And this was March 21st, 1994. Her name was Ann Bryant. And it's sad because Miss Ann was 81 years old.
Why are you picking on the lady?
He was somebody's Mimo. So Ann lived in a retirement home across the street from where him and Terry worked. So Terry got him a job at a convenience store, and Miss Ann lived across the street from said convenience store. It was said that she was an artist and she loved music and her friends, and she will often keep her door unlocked because of her nurse coming in to give her a medication. So, she's 81, she doesn't have to get up and get down, so she just leaves the front door open. And there was nothing to do. I always tell people, please lock your doors. Please lock the doors. I double lock the doors.
And what city was this in?
Baton Rouge. Oh, man. All of this is in Baton Rouge.
Damn. I'm from Baton Rouge.
Yeah.
Y'all.
Yeah, it's crazy. That's probably why your mama had that knife under her pillow.
She said,
it's making sense now.
Ain't no Derek Tidley coming.
Hello. Sister was ready. All right. So she would always keep her front door unlocked for the nurse to come in. But unfortunately, Sean used the front door to just walk in and basically unalive her. He did say initially he planned to just rape her. But as she started to scream, he basically mutilated her. So he slashed her throat and stabbed her 41 times. That is a lot of times.
That is a horrible death for that lady.
Yeah. I mean, to make it right there, like, I see the finish line, Lord.
Right.
And there's some
this
shit like
how
this.
I gotta go out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you was gonna rape. You only plan to rape her.
Yeah.
Why would you even want to?
But okay. First of all, where did you get the knife? Where did you get the knife?
Girl.
And if you know that your porn obsession is murder, kill, dismantle, you didn't just plan to just rape her. So yeah, that. And basically he nearly decapitated her. He stabbed her in her face, breast, and genitals. Experts say that this is because he was frustrated and he could not perform, so he stabbed her that many times out of anger. He said that he murdered her out of stress because his life was stressful and his job was stressful and he had a new girlfriend and he was trying to cope. So that was his reason for why he killed her. That murder did go unsolved for 10 years because they could not connect that murder to the other murders because of, and you're going to see, we're going to talk about it. He does have a pattern that he likes to do when he kills. And this one was kind of like off the radar. So he actually confessed to this murder. So after that, he did not murder for 5 years. So he had a really long break in between. So he did murder for 5 years. He actually said that his desire to rape and murder just stopped. He moved in with Terry in 1999, and then he said he got bored, and the desire came back. He would prowl the streets looking for anyone that was easy to get into his car because he didn't want too much of a fight. So he wasn't a big guy. So he wanted somebody that was a little smaller than him that he could kind of control. He did say that he would go for sex workers a lot or people that would not be missed. But which is really odd because a couple of his people that he did murder were not sex workers, and a lot of them were actually like mothers with families. So I think he was just seeing people that he liked and went for it. I think it was a total of 8 people that he murdered. Yeah. All right. So his second victim was Catherine Ann Hall. In January 4th, 1999, she was a sex worker, and he said, like I said, because he went for the sex workers, he said that they thought that he was a gentleman and he treated them nicely. So the sex workers liked him. Isn't that crazy how people are really in psychosis? Like, you really think they like you? Yeah. It's their job to like you.
Yeah.
So he made a deal with Catherine for oral sex. He tried to get it up. It ain't work. So he actually tried to strangle her while they were in the car, and she escaped. So she was like, She got out. She ran. But he caught her, unfortunately, and he stabbed her 16 times before she died and 24 times after she died. He raped her body and drove to a car wash to clean his car. He laid her body, like he was cleaning his car. She was in the car because he stabbed her in the car and all the rest of that. He took her body out the car on the concrete, cleaned out his car at a car wash, a public place, put her back into the car. What is happening at this car wash? Where are people? Put her back in and no car washes nowadays have like camera systems.
Right, but this is back in
1999. Yeah.
A lot of people didn't have the security cameras.
After he cleaned his car, he put her back into the car, and then he drove her to a dead-end street in Ascension Parish, my parish. And he posed her nude body in a ballerina pose under a dead-end sign as a joke. Right. It's a dead end. She's dead. Get it? Yeah. Okay.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, it's levels to the psycho. Go ahead.
So 4 months later, he started to stalk his next victim, Hardy Smith. And this is where I said that the victimology is different, because Hardy was 52. She was an avid runner, and she had 3 kids, and she was married. She was not a sex worker. He just would see her running, and he was like, I want her. So he stalked her until he found her 3 weeks later. He spotted her running as she normally did, and he hit her with his car.
Where are the people?
Exactly. Exactly. I've never, like, are people just minding their business? I know people in Louisiana be like, they ain't my business. But damn, did you not see this man hit this woman with the car? Yeah, he hit her with the fucking car. Hit her with a car, and she landed in a ditch. And he put a zip tie around her neck, and that's going to be his signature, the zip tie around the neck. So he put a zip tie around her neck. He put her in the trunk of his car, and he took her to a remote area, and he raped and murdered her. He was actually on a time crunch because he had to pick up Terry from work. Priorities, right? Hardy was actually in the trunk of his car when he picked up Terry. Wow. And he would say that wasn't the first time that Terry has been in the car with one of his victims.
So it has to be the other lady.
I don't know what I didn't.
Unless he got more that he didn't. Because wasn't this only his second?
It's only a second one. Because the first one was the older lady, and now this is Hardy.
No, this is third.
This is third one. Yeah, this is third one.
But the older lady was at her house. And he left her at her house.
Yeah, and then Catherine, he posed her body.
So it had to be her.
No, because he has 5 more. We have quite a few left.
Oh, I thought you said that's not the first time.
Yeah,
she had been in the car.
So let's see. So Terry actually mentioned the unworldly smell of his car. Like, why is your car so stink? And he was like, I don't know. Okay.
Don't have nothing to do with the dead body.
Or the blood. Truck. The blood. I guess I can just picture him like at the car wash trying to clean the inside of his car. Like, is he taking like that little pressure
That's
wash?
That's what I'm
thing?
saying. I'm so confused.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So the next person that we have is Joyce Williams. Joyce Williams was last seen November 12th, 1999. He did pick her up as a sex worker. He killed her with a zip tie, and he took her back to his mom's house. So he still had the house that his mom gave him. He raped her dead body and dismembered her, and he had his first cannibalism experience. He put her body in garbage bags and disposed of her body in Iberville Parish. And that's another thing. It was hard for them to track because he would place dead bodies basically in random areas. Like different parishes. If you don't know what a parish is, you're not from Louisiana. Parishes are counties for us. So he placed her body in garbage bags and disposed of her body, but her body was never found, and this was a murder that he actually confessed to. He didn't get caught. In January 2000, Lillian Robinson, 54. It was unknown if she was a sex worker. They said that sometimes it said that she was a sex worker, sometimes it said that she wasn't, but she was a churchgoer and she loved her family. He picked her up in Baton Rouge and he killed her with a zip tie as normal. He took her to his house and raped and mutilated her. He threw her body over a bridge, and her body wasn't found until March of 2000, 9 miles from where he dumped her body. And this is where he starts to take pictures and videos of the things that he did. And the police will find a file on his computer, as well as the Derek Tiley file, with the pictures and videos of what he has done. All right, next we have Marilyn Nevels. She was 38 years old. And October 20th in 2000, he picked her up in Lafayette on his way to visit family members. So he has like, I'm going to see my guy kid. Let me pick this sex worker up and kill her and go about my merry little way. I have a hard time remembering to pick up milk and you remembering to kill somebody.
Right.
Like, okay. So he picked her up in Lafayette. She was a sex worker. and she fought him off when she saw him reach for a zip tie. She was able to get out of the car, but he chased her down across the field and hit her in the head as she tried to like jump a fence. He then placed the zip tie around her neck and he killed her. He took her to another car wash where he cleaned out of his car again. What car washes is he finding?
That's crazy.
Or like, is he like placing something over the bodies? Like, oh, this is my dead animal. I go hunting.
Like what time? Yeah, like I'm so confused.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay. I don't know. I guess it would be at night because you're not finding streetwalkers in the daytime. I mean, you could if you're on Plank Road.
I'm about to say they be street walking.
It'd be too hot. I don't know. I mean, you got to be each his own, but you know how many things that ran through that cat, like, and it's hot and sweaty, and it's been walking.
It's been walking.
It's been walking.
That cat been walking.
That cat has been walking the street.
That hot concrete. The humidity.
How bad? You better get you one of them little pocket things. Because, man, and then you ain't going to get no diseases from that. But, hey, to each his own, whatever, you know. Anyway. So, he took her to a car wash to clean out of his car. But remember, he was on a family visit. So, he had a time crunch again. He actually laid, like I said, he laid her dead body on the ground while he cleaned out his car. He actually brought her back to the house as well. He raped her body and took her in the shower. So he bathed with her. At this time, Sean was actually beginning to have some issues in his own life. Terry, I don't know what Terry was doing. Terry, yeah. Anyway, she actually thought that he was beginning to cheat. Like, she thought that he was cheating. Like, nah, sis, he ain't cheating. He out here killing.
Yeah.
And at that time, Derek Ty Lee had been arrested. So he was having like some, I need this serial killer competition thing going on.
Interesting.
So Derek Ty Lee actually killed 7 women. Like I said, we did do an episode on him. And he killed, I think 9 or 10. I don't know. I have to count them. So after Lee was arrested, the police noticed that the victim profile for the other murdered or missing women did not meet Lee's criteria, and that they noticed it was another serial killer in Baton Rouge. So it was like, oh, you got another one.
Yeah.
How do you have 2 at one time, Frank? Like, that's scary, right?
Yeah.
So women in Louisiana, women in Baton Rouge are like taking self-defense classes, sleeping with knives under their pillows, bear mace, like being very cautious. They were actually starting to lock their door, which is weird to me. Lock your door. I think, like, black people always lock their door. I ain't never met a black person that did not lock their door, especially at night.
Yeah.
But okay. He was quoted to say that he thought Derek Ty Lee would outdo him. And that's when he started to up his torture game on his victims. He was obsessed with Derek Ty Lee. He had a computer file with all of his articles and information about his murders. On October 9th, 2003, Johnny Mae Williams was 45. This was actually a little bit sad because she was his friend. And she cleaned out his house. They smoked weed together. She had 3 kids. And he picked her up in North Baton Rouge and drove her behind a restaurant. His killing method changed a little bit because, like I said, he was in competition with Derek Ty Lee, and he wanted to make his murder stand out, I guess. So he beat her to death. So he didn't use a zip tie. He beat her to death, and then he cut off her hands. He beat her so bad and mutilated her body so bad that they had a hard time even saying that this was a human body. He cut open her legs, and he positioned her. So when they did find her, like, her hands were behind her back. So when they took her hands, it was like, oh, she has no hands. But he kind of started to slip up because he was really messy with DNA. So they did have a hair that was left on her bones, and they were able to say that this was the white man.
Wow.
What did he do with her hands, you may have asked? He brought that home. He gave her a manicure. At this time, he was living with Terry. So he basically was using Terry's polish to do a dead person's hands. Where was Terry? At work?
That's what I'm saying.
At work. Girl. Y'all, please be mindful of what your partner is going. I wish you're not having dreams. I'm heavy on the dreams. Sis, was you not having dreams? Why does your car smell like ass, my boy?
Something ain't right.
So Sean took over 50 pictures of the body and he kept it on his computer. His computer was at his home that he shared with Terry. Another thing, I'm going through my man's computer. And I'm sure he had that listed like dead bodies. Like, I just feel like it wasn't encrypted or nothing. It was just that. And Terry was just like, do.
Terry said, I got a man.
Yeah.
I don't have no other questions. You my man or not?
Or not. Man, that's like if I don't see it, it ain't happening. That's took a whole nother level of I trust my man. I don't trust nobody that much. But anyway, February 26, 2004, Donna Johnston. She was 43 years old. He picked her up in North Baton Rouge off of Scenic Highway. He put a good area, yeah, it's good old Scenic. He put a zip tie around her neck, but she fought. She was able to get out of the car, and he caught her again. He killed her in the spot, and he killed her on the spot and brought her body to his truck. So another time, she was out in the field, ain't nobody seen. He killed her, brought her back to the truck. He took her back to Terry's house. At this point, he was living 100% with Terry. So he took her back to Terry's house, and he dismembered her body on Terry's kitchen floor. Where Terry was at work.
Where was
at work.
Terry?
At work. I guess she ain't go home early. I guess Terry ain't never got sick. I guess she ain't never came home in the middle of the day. So you have time. And it takes time.
That's what I'm
dismember
saying.
A body and clean up. And I feel like he wasn't cleaning up good. I feel like he couldn't have been cleaning up good.
Right.
Anyway, he sliced off a butterfly tattoo that she had because he wanted to keep it. He also partook in cannibalism again, and he disposed her body blocks away from his house, which was actually his downfall. So she was his last victim. She fought so hard that there was DNA under her nails. So when they did find her body, they found the DNA under her nails. Even though he had DNA on multiple victims, so like the first older lady that he murdered, the hair and the bones and the DNA under the nails, he never got in trouble, so his DNA was not in the system. So he kind of like skated through the radar. Mm-hmm. In the area where her body was found, the police were able to find tire tracks. So once they found the tire tracks, they found out the manufacturer. They found out how many people had these tires. So they narrowed it down to a few hundred that were sold in the Baton Rouge area. And they got a list of people, and they just started going down the list and asking people, where were you? All that.
Yeah.
So within 12 months, they had asked everyone for a DNA swab. So it was like 100 people on the list, and Sean was number 26 on the list. When they talked to him, he seemed dishonest from the start. He said that he knew Johnny and explained why his tires were in the area because he had to pee and he could not make it to his house. Like, you really live in a subdivision and you couldn't wait till you got to your house. But anyway, they asked if there would be blood found in his car. And this is what he said. This is directly what he said. A month after getting the car, Terry had her period in the front seat, and it looked like a massacre. Blood started flying everywhere. And he continued to, and they asked him, would there be blood found in the back seat? He said, well, the window was open, so it could have flew back there as well. Like, sir, do you not know how a period works?
I was about to say, does he think it's...
Yeah. Like, sir, do you not know how a period works?
That was the worst lie.
Yeah.
Come on, you did all this, but you didn't think about the lie you would tell if you almost got caught.
Her period came, and it was just like blood everywhere. It's like a Michael Bay movie with explosion of cat juices everywhere. I don't know. Like yeah, like you get a blood, like, sir. So after that, they were like, yeah, that's our guy. So it does take some time for DNA to come back. It's not like CSI. That shit does not come back in 10 minutes. So Brian White was the lead detective. And as soon as he heard the period story, he was like, yeah, that's our guy. They took his DNA and they did a search warrant. The DNA did come back. Everything matched. The SWAT team stormed the house and Terry was home watching a movie with him.
Now Terry
want to be home. Now she want to be home. Terry was home. She was watching a movie with her man. I don't get it. She was confused. Oh, of course, like what's happening. And they was like, hey, he's a serial killer. And they were actually shocked that he lived with a female because most serial killers that's doing all of this have no significant other.
Yeah.
And they've been in it since the beginning.
Not him being Dexter.
Even Dexter had signs. Like that dude was like, surprise, motherfucker. Right? Like he knew. I love Dexter. Oh my God. Okay. She did not believe that he was doing everything that they said he was. So after the SWAT arrested him, she went to jail and she just basically went to see him, sat down, picked up the phone and was like, hey, are you doing what they say you are? And he just hung his head and was like, yes, honey bunny. And she got up, turned around and walked out. So I will say she's consistent. She seems like she's very cut and dry. Like there's no going outside of the box. Like it's right there in front of me. Boop, boop, boop. You said this. That's what we're going with.
Yeah. All right. Bye.
All right. Yeah. Dang. He confessed to everything and said that he's sorry he hurt people, but he would do it again. He said, if anything in my useless life comes out, at least it will help little girls today not be the premature corpses of tomorrow. Which is a good statement. Like, if anything comes out of my life, I hope it helps the little girls of today not be the premature corpses of tomorrow. So be aware of your surroundings because people are crazy. Mm-hmm. He named all the victims they had and the ones that they didn't even know about. Sean said, if you let me out on the streets, I'll find someone else by sundown. When he saw the FBI criminal profiler doing a trial, he stated that his necrophilia started when he was about 10 years old and he wanted to have sex with his mother. He said that if she
That's why he was so mad she left.
Probably. He said that if she had died, he thought that they would find him in bed with her. It's like laying with her corpse. Or like her. Who knows? That's gross. Whatever. When he was giving his confession, he said, I would have bought... When he was giving his confession, so they were like taking everything down, he said, I should have bought a lawyer. But he still kept talking. But by him saying, I should have bought a lawyer and them not stopping the interview, everything that he confessed to after that could not be used in court because he did not have his lawyer present.
Wow. Mm-hmm. The system be stupid sometimes.
Yeah. But the cops should have known that.
Yes. But also the system is stupid. You're going to sit here, confess all this, and I'm going to say, oh, but you didn't have a lawyer, so I can't use it. Yeah. Nigga, you just confessed.
Yeah, right. Yeah. But he said I should have bought a lawyer, and he just kept talking. So I don't know if that was smart or dumb. I don't know if he was thinking it out, but I don't know.
He probably wasn't thinking.
I don't know. All right. So after all of this was said and done, they were afraid that he would not be able to get a first-degree murder charge. So during court, the prosecutor of the court received letters from a friend of one of Sean's victims, so Donna, which was his final victim. Tammy started writing Sean, and he was one of those people that if you start talking to him about something, he is just going to give you everything. Yeah. So in the letters, he would say that he went on about how he murdered her friend and how, what her last words were and how easy it was and how he, doped her up. It's, all kind of stuff. He just went on and went on. And that actually helped him get convicted of first-degree murders because it was premeditated because you thought about it. Yeah. So they gave the letters, which was dumb on his case. I mean, but at this point, I feel like he wanted to be he was so normal. And then when he started confessing, he was like, I'll do it again at sundown. He was trying to seem deranged, which he really was. But it was I'm caught now. Okay, we out here. So, yeah. So, he was convicted of 3 life sentences. He is in the Louisiana State Penitentiary. He is still alive, and Terry still lives at that house. She just said she just redid her kitchen and put new floors down. And she actually still has the car that he was killing people in. And people have actually tried to buy the car, but she did not sell it. I would have sold it.
I would have. Here, take it. Look,
Yeah.
how much you giving me?
Yeah.
And then house, I would not still be in that house.
I would not be in the house. But she's like, it's just a house.
But see, something off with Terry.
Something's okay, right? Yeah, all right. Something's off with
too.
Terry too. Terry ain't all the way there. I don't know. And he is still alive. So yeah.
Child.
Yeah. That is the other Baton Rouge serial killer.
I hope that's the last one.
That is it. That's it. That's all I
Okay.
have for you guys. So if you guys have any suggestions on what our creepy, spooky serial killer next episode should be about, please let us know in our DMs, or you can send us an email at sisandgiggles@gmail.com. But yeah, be careful, you guys. You never know who's watching you or what you're doing. I did not know that people said that if you run, have like one earphone in and one out so you can hear people coming behind you. So if you guys are avid runners, don't get hit by a car. But I have a killer starter kit. I have mace and I have a knife in my purse, and I also carry a gun because people are crazy.
Yeah, you got a lot.
Yeah, I have a lot. Like if I can't hurry up and get the gun out and I got the mace or something, I have to be able to protect myself.
I got a couple stun guns.
You got to get too close for a stun gun. You have a gun?
I have a gun. I have a couple stun guns. I have mace.
I need some bear mace.
Oh, she said you going down.
I had a stun gun like the ones you got to get up on, but I was like, I really got to get that close to you to study.
So I have one that you have to get up on them, and then I have one that my mama gave me.
Of course she did.
Where you can shoot from a distance and the little things fly out.
Ooh, I didn't get one of them.
Yeah.
But then you already talk about my purses.
I might have an extra one for him.
Okay, good.
We're going to see.
That's interesting. We're going to take a self-defense class.
We should. That would be fun.
I'm down. I'm down. I am down. If y'all know of any self-defense classes, please let us know. All right. That is it for today. Do you have anything, Karen?
That's it.
All right. Bye. Be safe.
Toodaloo.